love the saying, the definition of a true panic is when you're on the grid of the Indy 500 and the car won't start. That's a true panic. Everything else is pretty manageable.
I definitely get the same adrenaline at the track from when I did drag race and drive versus being at the track with someone else driving the machine. They're risking it as well. They're depending on you that everything's on there tight. The wheel's not going to fly off or crash. So the adrenaline is really high. In my head, it's the art of driving sideways.
I'm Mark Cornwell.
Sean Hillier.
And I am PRI.
Hi everybody, this episode of the PRI Road Tour Highlight Show from Speed Sport is powered by Mobil 1. I'm your host, Ralph Shaheen. You know, our PRI Road Tour crew is still out there crisscrossing the country, visiting racers and race shops all over. But we've got the best of the content for you in a highlighted version right here. So let's kick things off with a visit to RE Suspensions here in Mooresville, North Carolina. Jason Enders has more.
I'm Jason Enders. We're here at RE Suspension, and we do racing suspension for a lot of different genres of racing, from asphalt, circle track, dirt, pretty much anything with four wheels, and if you race it, we tune suspension for it. I spent most of my childhood working with my dad on whatever race team he was with at the time. Eventually, like a lot of kids in the sport, I followed my dad's footsteps, and I went and got my own jobs at different race teams and going on the road and crew chiefing, car chiefing, changed tires for a lot of years. And 1998, 99, I was getting kind of fed up with the sport. Like I'd caught myself not wanting to be in the mix of NASCAR. I was losing heart in it. So I was trying to think of a way. It's like, how do I still be in racing and not be in racing? Oleans was trying to break into NASCAR, and my dad was one of the first guys to bolt their shocks on race cars. So they were at our shop almost every week, helping us tune, you know, the next shock package for the next week, and I took an interest into it. When I figured out, it's like, you know, how do I stay in racing but not be at the racetrack every weekend and, you know, do that? It's like, I can grow a business out of tuning shocks for these guys. I went to Kurt Rohrig, said, hey man, I've got this idea. And I was a 27-year-old kid, and he believed in me. So Kurt helped me put this business together, and 6 months later we were up and running, and this business has grown ever since. When we started the company, I needed my dad's help because I had no clue how to run a business. Like I knew what I was doing, and I knew how to make race cars fast, but I had no idea how to run a business. So Dad came over to help. A couple years later, my sister was in between jobs, so I hired my sister. It's like, well, hey, come over, help me do books, do the invoicing, help me do some of this stuff until you find something, and she's still here. Family's either a blessing or a curse, and I'm really blessed because I've worked with my dad since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and don't get me wrong, we have our days, you know, we have our moments, but I can't imagine not working with my dad. So it's the family part of it's cool. You can always trust family. The cool thing about racing is it is a non-stop moving target. You cannot rest on your laurels. If you're a hero today, tomorrow there's 100 people right behind you gunning for that position. So you've got to stay on top of it. What does racing do for me? The competition. I've been a competitive person my whole life. I was a competitive kid. I'm not a very good loser. I don't like to lose. That's what it is. We're not getting up every day making widgets and seeing how many we can sell. It's more than that. You've got to find the edge. My favorite racing moment. I'll tell you, one that stands out for me that I hold to my heart and I can replay in my head to the T is our first win. And when I say our family, my dad, me, and I think my sister was there. Our first NASCAR win was in the Busch Series at Hickory Motor Speedway. That was our first win, and I can remember everything about the race and when we won and everything that happened after, and that was a pretty big moment. I've got our victory lane picture, blown up, hanging out in my garage. That meant a lot because it took a lot of work and a lot of races to get to that point. What I love about PRI is it puts everybody in my industry under one roof, and we can all talk hardcore business for 3 or 4 days out of the year. We're all under the same roof, and everybody's showing everything that they've worked on all year, and here's our new products. And that's what I love about PRI, is putting a bunch of great minds together under one roof. So to find out more about RE Suspension, you can go to our website at www.resuspension.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RE Suspension. I am Jason Enders, and I am PRI.
Thanks, Jason. The folks over there at RE Suspensions, they know how to dial in your car to make sure it handles just right. Check them out at their website. Now, you've also got to make that car breathe good if you want good performance out of the engine. And we all want improved sound, right? We'd love to hear that engine roar. Corsa Exhaust has you covered on both ends. Brent Noward from Corsa.
Brent Noward, Marketing Manager, TMG Performance Products, Volant Performance, and the Corsa Performance brands. We make dreams come true here, man. No, honestly, what we do here is we produce some of the best exhaust systems and air intakes in the world for the automotive consumer. We've been doing that since 1998 in the automotive category. And we continue to do that here today. Corsa Performance started off in 1988, actually, predominantly in the performance marine category. So we were building, big time exhaust systems for power boats. And we pioneered a technology there that helped control some of the sound. It was called the captain's call. Fast forward a decade, a lot of the people that own power boats were interested in, hey man, can you make my car sound amazing? I love the way my boat sounds. So guys got together and said, we think we've got something, and they pioneered a technology called RSC, reflective sound cancellation, and that's what Corsa Performance is known for. So 10 years after, performance marine exhaust came around, the automotive category started to pop, and we actually debuted that reflective sound cancellation, no drone technology on the C5 pace car at the Indianapolis 500 Speedway. And since then, the product lines continue to grow, the business has continued to expand to what you see today from Corsa Performance. The Volant Performance story is relatively similar. About 1998 again, the owner at the time realized there was a need for closed box intakes. At the time, everything was open element intakes. So he said, hey, I think I can build a great closed box air intake. And while that seems so unusual today in this category, because there are so many closed box, that was innovative and different at the time. And he didn't stop there. He said, hey, not only do we need better intake designs for more power and performance, but what about better filtration? So along came a partnership with Donaldson, and Donaldson's one of the largest filtration companies in the world, and he debuted PowerCore filtration technology, which was designed predominantly to be the best filtration you can possibly buy for your air intake. Perfect for that dry, arid, off-road environment, overlanding guys racing in the desert and stuff like that. And that kind of became the hallmark of the Volant brand, and it continues to grow today. Corsa Performance, one thing that we take a lot of pride in is the fact that we are very much American-made and very much made in Cleveland, Ohio. Whether it's our vendors we're working with, locally sourced products and goods, but the heart of it is the manufacturing that takes place in this building here. And yeah, we have everything from your welders that are on staff to, multiple benders to engineers in the building. I mean, it's all taking place right here to build the best exhaust and air intake products that we can for our consumers and for the industry. We're constantly pushing to build the best intake or the best exhaust product, or as we continue to expand our lines into headers and different filters and things like this for our consumers. They continue to ask for more from us, and we continue to stretch ourselves to deliver the best products we can for them. The root of everything we do in our exhaust builds predominantly straight through design. So, you know, when we launched RSC technology, part of the beauty of it was you could sound loud as you could possibly be, but you would have as maximize the airflow. So there weren't any restrictions. You know, we've got 3-inch pipes that flow like 4 because of the designs of our exhaust. Well, fast forward to modern day, we've gotten ourselves involved in header development, things like that. And at, you know, the root of all that is how much power can we give you? How much sound can we give you? So we've got a lot of guys that go out and, you know, whether it's SSCA or stuff like that, that are pushing their cars in those venues. And, you know, that we're serving that passionate market. That's why racing works for us. I mean, I think everybody's gone through it this year. You start off the year, things were good when we started this year. I mean, things were moving. And then we hit March, and here in Ohio, you know, we basically threw the e-brake, I mean, on everything. I mean, we had a handful of people in the facility for 5 weeks. Most of us were working from home, just trying to keep the lights on, basically, process whatever orders we could. You know, you fast forward, we kind of start coming back online slowly but surely. Around May, we're kind of mostly back in gear. Come July, we're certainly back in gear, but we lose 5-6 weeks of production. Ever since then, I mean, it's been all out every day, trying to build all the products everybody's asking for us to meet the demand out there in the industry. I think this pandemic's changed everybody in some way, shape, or form. But I think one of the biggest things is people are investing in what they can control. We're not allowed to do all the things right now that maybe we're accustomed to doing. But you know what's cool? We've always been allowed to drive during this. You can get in your car and drive. So I think people have retreated into that. And what's been neat for us is it seems like it's re-blossomed a passion a little bit. It's refueled, like maybe that project that was sitting in your garage that you hadn't gotten to over the last 3 years because you went to Hawaii twice or whatever you were doing that was kind of been sitting there. Maybe you looked at it and said, well, I guess I'm home for the next few months. Let's see if I can't make this dream a reality. And I think we saw that happening a lot this year, and it seems like it's continuing to happen. And I hope it's a trend that doesn't change. For more information about either Volant or Corsa, you go to volantperformance.com or courseperformance.com on the web, and you can find all the things you need there. Or get on YouTube, quite frankly, and research either of the two brands. You'll find videos not only from us, but from the industry and our friends and family and people we've been working with a long time out there. I am Brent Noward, and I am PRI.
Thanks, Brent, to you and your team there at Corsa for constantly pushing the boundaries of exhaust technology. And boy, do those Corsa pipes sure sound good. You know, unfortunately, we can't get to everybody with our PRI Road Tour crew. It's just not enough time in the day. However, through technology, we can bring some of you to us here in the studio. So let me introduce you now to our friends at Deepworks, Krista Lamb and Kevin Cox. Well, Krista Lamb, tell me a little bit about Deepworks and what you folks do. I see a lot of pieces and parts behind you.
Deepworks is a EFI high-performance fuel system company established in 2004 in Oklahoma City. David Deach was a guy who was just modding his car and ran out of fuel one day. So he got an idea to mod his injectors. And so he did that for his car, and he went to the junkyard, picked up some extra injectors, and then flow tested them and matched and balanced them, and had a great result. So he started doing it for his friends and his family, and before you knew it, he was quitting his job in research, medical research, and starting Deepworks.
That's an amazing story. Kevin, how many different products do you guys make?
I think we have over 1,000 SKUs right now. Make everything from fuel pumps, fuel injectors, surge tanks, lines and fittings. We got fuel rails, I mean, anything for a fuel system, we have it, so.
Well, and Chris, obviously these are pieces and parts for racers. What types of racing do you make components for? Everybody or specific divisions?
So if you are looking to make between 400 and 2200 horsepower, we're your go-to. And typically our customer base is either a street racer, a drag racer, or a drifter.
Wow. So Kevin, that's everybody. I mean, I know we all would love to have somewhere between 400 and 2,000 horsepower to play with. And so I guess these components in work in almost any genre of motorsports.
Anything that's fuel injected, we can technically make a fuel system for. We're in Harleys that are going, world records right now. A bunch of different genres actually. It's
even some boats.
Yeah, boats and
we're really, heavy into motorsports though. So whether you have a domestic vehicle or you have an import vehicle, we've got you covered. We sell worldwide. So even some of those very strange brands, like maybe a Holden, we've got those covered as well.
How much is the fuel system a key component? For those that maybe don't really understand, maybe they're missing the boat here. How much should they be focusing on their fuel system to get those performance numbers that they're looking for?
I would say the fuel system is the number one key component, other than, obviously your engine and all engine components. The fuel system, I mean, you can either make or break your build by your fuel system. Getting the proper components for your fuel system is one of the most important factors. It's just as important as, having the perfect amount of oil or, having the clean oil in your car. You have to have that proper fuel delivery for everything else to work right.
There's a lot of folks that are maybe just getting started in motorsports who are learning about their race car and trying to figure out where they should go. Kevin, you mentioned that the fuel system is something you should focus on quickly and maybe put some money into that part of your race car early on. But maybe they don't understand what they can do or how to go about doing it. Do you do a lot of education, and do you have engineers on staff or people on staff who can help if they just call you up at Deech and say, hey, I'm interested in learning about what I need to do in my fuel system?
Oh yes, we have multiple contacts within the building that can build you out a fuel system based on, you tell them, I want to hit 400 horsepower, I'm just starting out, it's a non-return or it's a return, and we can give you a full build out of what we would suggest to get you to your goals. And yeah, we have, our tech guys and some of our sales associates, they can hit the nail on the head.
Our tech department is staffed by automotive technicians who have morphed into fuel system expert engineers. So we have a whole team dedicated to helping define and develop every product. And you can reach out to that same person to help you with your build. It's just really cool. And you know what? They love it. These are folks who wrench on their own cars and their friends' cars. They're drag racers and drifters, and they are there to help you and as excited for you as they are for themselves. So absolutely, we're here to help.
Well, if somebody's looking to reach Deepworks, how do they go about doing it?
I would say tech support at deepworks.com. Great way, send an email in, somebody will get right back to you within 48 hours. If you want to call in, we have people standing by all the time to take phone calls and answer questions. That's 405-217-0701. And you'll reach Mark Heinen and he will get you directed.
Well, listen, we appreciate you guys taking the time to join us here on the PRI Road Tour Highlight Show. I look forward to seeing you both at the races soon.
All right, thank you.
Thanks to Krista and Kevin for joining us from Deepworks. If you need help with your fuel system, please reach out to them, won't you? Well, let's keep these Zoom meetings going now and go to Lincoln, Nebraska and Speedway Motors and our buddy Greg Nickel. Hey Greg, good to see you. How's everything going out there at Speedway Motors during all this craziness of 2020?
Well, it's definitely been a crazy year, but we're holding our own and had a banner year. Racers and street rodders are going crazy buying parts.
Maybe not everybody that's watching this right now knows a little of the history of Speedway Motors and what you folks do. Can you tell us a little bit about Speedway Motors?
Speedway Motors is a mom and pop organization. It was started in 1952 by Bill Smith. He borrowed $300 from his future wife, Joyce, to start the company. Neither one of them would ever say if they paid if he paid her back. So that was the start of Speedway, and today we're ran by the four sons. We have 2 locations right now. Our main warehouse is in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's over 500,000 square foot. And we've got another location in Tolleson, Arizona.
Wow. So what does Speedway Motors do? If I called up your folks there, what kind of pieces and parts would I find?
Well, Speedway Motors is the oldest speed shop in the United States. If you were working with a sprint car, you could get every component of that car from Speedway, from the engine, tires, wings, chassis, body. We pride ourselves in making racing and street rotting fun, safe, and affordable.
That's awesome. So with that, of course, there's a lot of innovation, I'm sure. What are some of the new products that came out in 2020 and you're getting ready to unveil for 2021?
Well, we've got some new things coming in. The Snell cycle changed this year on helmets, but for the first time, we'll be offering a carbon fiber helmet as an entry-level piece at a $400 price point for an SA20 carbon fiber helmet. Then one of the big changes, we had a sanctioning body change the rules this year that affected 1,500 cars. So immediately when we heard that, we ramped up production of some Speedway parts, our bell housings that are used, that will be able to be used in those. So we just tripled our production instantly, buried all the transmission suppliers with huge orders.
You know, obviously, when there's new rule changes and stuff like that, there's a lot of innovation that has to take part real fast. So how is Speedway Motors able to stay on top of all that and still deliver high quality pieces and parts at affordable prices for racers and hot rodders so quickly?
Well, we're really fortunate. We have a lot of employees and tech staff that race, so they watch everything closely. And then we have our in-house engineers that we can go to them and, hey, we need a product. And then we have a state-of-the-art machine shop across the parking lot, and we can go from concept to prototype very quickly, and then production can follow that.
So if I want to build a hot rod or a sprint car and I don't know much about what I have to have, pieces, parts, tool-wise, and expertise, all I have to do is call you then, right? You guys can help me from beginning to checkered flag?
We can help you from the beginning to the checkered flag, or you can go onto our website. We've started a great little blog area called the Toolbox, and there's articles and videos up there that our own staff have written on things that they've ran into, from how to measure for a driving suit, how to take care of your driving suit, to how to do the leak down on your race car and adjust the valves.
Well, you know, the thing I really want to do is come see that museum of yours. Tell me a little bit about that, and is it open to the public?
The museum is open to the public in non-COVID times. Right now, like everybody else, we are shut down, but the museum is 150,000 square foot. We have over 600 exotic engines, one of a kinds or rare, on display. We've got the Monza winning Indy car that was the Wilkie, and we've got that sitting in the display.
That's incredible.
We've got over 150 cars on display, constantly rotating. There's something for everyone there.
Well, that's great. I look forward to coming out there and seeing it. If I need to get some pieces and parts, my buddies at Speedway Motors, what's the best way to reach you guys?
Well, you can either reach us through the web at speedwaymotors.com, or our 800 number is 800-979-0122.
That's great. Greg, thanks for the time today. I look forward to seeing you at a racetrack soon and then getting that guided tour through the museum.
Well, come out and we'll do that, Ralph. Have a great day.
Okay, buddy. Talk to you soon.
You bet. Thank you.
Well, that's it for this episode of the PRI Road Tour Highlight Show from Speed Sport, powered by Mobil 1. If you'd like to stay up to speed on what's going on with our PRI Road Tour crew, just check them out at Performance Racing Industry YouTube page or performanceracing.com, and follow us here at Speed Sport, speedsport.com and speedsport.tv. I'm your host, Ralph Shaheen. We'll see you real soon, and if you'd like to see a little bit more from our Road Tour crew, check them out right here.
I've been paid well to have fun for like pushing 45 years now. You can't, yeah, that's kind of a good thing. You know, most people are not so blessed. We're a specialty brake company. If you're not General Motors and you don't need a million brakes, but you need a good brake in relatively small quantities, we got them.
PRI is grassroots racing. You know, I mean, I went back, we were at the very first PRI show, and when you go to PRI, it's just regular people. You know, they may put on their clean overalls to come to the show, but they dressed up for it.
I don't know that the industry would exist in the way that it does without PRI. I'm Bill Wood.
I'm Steve Morrison.
And I am PRI.